What's up, my comic comrades? Today we're continuing to cover the epic King in Black event with issues 32 of Venom and issue 3 of King in Black. If you're not caught up on the series, you could do so by watching our past episodes covering issues 1 and 2 of King in Black right here. For everyone else who's caught up, let's dive in, because in this issue, Thor throws down with the Lord of the Abyss, Knull. You guys didn't know, the Venom series is tying directly into the King in Black series, giving us a look at Eddie Brock's side of things a little more. With that said, you don't have to read the Venom title to understand what's going on in King in Black, but it does expand the story a bit more. So we're going to give you a brief rundown of Venom issue 32 before getting into the main event, King in Black issue 3. Now, if you're still watching, I assume that means you're all caught up on the series, or you just don't care about spoilers, because this is where they begin. At the end of King in Black issue 2, Eddie died while on life support after Knull took his Venom symbiote away from him and then threw him off a building. And in issue 32 of Venom, we essentially see Eddie's soul falling into the afterlife while he looks at the real world becoming farther and farther away. Mid-fall, he hears a voice talking to him saying, "Wake up, soldier, Knull's little minions are here and they almost have you. They're taking you down to hell, son. This is do or die time. Stop falling. Concentrate and stop falling." Eddie asks how, and the voice tells him, "Just brace yourself for impact and land," which he does, and when he lands, he's greeted by Rex Strickland. At this point, Eddie sees the world being overrun by Knull's symbiotes, so he tries to save people, but he just passes right through them because, well, he's dead and he's a ghost now. Eddie then realizes he's inside of Knull's hive, where he sees several of his friends and allies trapped and captured by Knull. Eddie then tells Rex, "I'm gonna escape from here," and Rex tells him, "You're out of your depth, Brock. You're a codex now, a memory. The symbiotes, they keep pieces of all hosts they've bonded with in their hive." And Eddie says, "But they aren't real, they're ghosts," coming to the realization and accepting he's dead. Long story short, Eddie tells Rex, "I've been connected to a symbiote longer than any human being ever. If I could find my other, aka Venom, I promise the two of us can burn this thing to the ground," as Rex is also wearing and controlling a symbiote. But as Eddie looks for his symbiote, they stumble upon someone else, another codex, which just so happens to be Agent Flash Venom Thompson, who says, "Reporting for duty," followed by saying, "Good to see you again, Brock," as the issue ends. So that's pretty nuts. It looks like Flash Thompson, aka Agent Venom, will be making some sort of comeback, which is amazing, and I know a lot of you are going to agree with that. But anyway, now on to the main event, King in Black, issue 3. The issue starts off with us seeing space and the destruction Knull has caused on Earth. We then get captions of someone telling us, "For every darkness, there is a light, an opposite, an equal. But now that light is dim, weak, for there has been so much life taken from the universe as Knull has raised his way across the stars. Billions of souls gone, entire planets devoid of life, of light. I feel it all. The nothingness, the death, where joy, prayers, and laughter once sang in this world. But above all of it, ringing out to my senses like a great siren above a raging, storming sea, is the unbearable sorrow of a single fatherless boy surrounded by a roar of death, echoing across the black canyons of a choking world. God I love." Some Kate's dialogue. We then see the Invisible Woman and Blade holding off Knull's army, and Sue tells Reed, "We need to do something now if we're gonna do it. There's only so many of these things Blade and his vampire army and I can hold off. I can't keep these shields up forever." Reed then starts going on about how he recovered an incredible drive given to Eddie from a man named Wraith, and how the information is encrypted beyond anything he's ever seen. She then yells at him saying, "Reed, now," as her nose starts bleeding, and he's like, "Right." We learn that the plan is for Wolverine and Spider-Man to get Dylan out safely and essentially be his defense while he's fighting Knull's army, as he's the key to freeing their allies and then the world with his abilities. Reed then asks, "Everyone ready?" Spider-Man then tells Dylan, "Hey, you don't have to do this," and Dylan just looks up at him saying, "I need to hurt something." So that's exactly what Dylan does, taking on a nullified Captain America out the gate. Captain then tells him, "You think you could defeat me, boy? You're nothing compared to us. We will devour this planet. And nothing will stop us," as he chucks his shield at Dylan, but Dylan just puts his hand out saying, "Sorry, gonna need to borrow this," catching his shield with one hand, all Winter Soldier style. As the nullified Captain America leaps towards Dylan, Dylan tells Knull, "I know you're in there. I know you're connected to Cap. I hope you could feel this, and I hope it hurts," as he blasts the symbiote off Captain America. Elsewhere, Knull screams in pain before saying, "I see. Finally, there you are, child," at which point he starts attacking Dylan. Dylan then tells Captain America, who's still foggy, not knowing what happened, "I'm sorry, I can't push them all back." But out of nowhere, lightning strikes Knull's symbiote hand. Knull then says, "No, that power, it's familiar, but how? Who could it be?" And then on the next page, we see Thor finally arrive saying, "It's called lightning. You would do well to become accustomed to it, villain." Thor then flies next to Eddie's son saying, "You must be Dylan. I am Thor. How may I be of service?" He replies, "Just have my back. I could do this, but a little thunder would help too." Thor then says, with lightning in his eyes, That I can provide," as he starts going ham on Knull and his army. And as the two start fighting, captions of the comic tell us, for every darkness, there is a light, an opposite, Unequal. They battle, Thor and the child Venom. I could feel them as I race near. I could feel them beating the darkness back with every breath in their lungs, knowing that they will fall, that they will lose. And there, lording over all of it, is Knull, bleeding with every blow dealt by these two warriors of light, and yet the Void King rises once more. Thor then tells Knull, so you finally decided to show your face and stop hiding. You're the one that called Knull, yes? I recall having drunkenly killed one of your pet dragons once. Knull then says, I remembered you killed one of my children, but you have never faced me, never faced anything like me. I am the god of the void, king of the abyss. Thor then interrupts saying, quiet, I am the last person you'll ever impress with your pitiful titles, so you may as well stop now. So you're a god and a king, good for you, as he charges Knull. Thor then says, now allow me to teach you what those words truly mean. But Knull just strikes Thor saying, I don't believe you could teach me anything, but I will teach you, little god. While Knull is on top of Thor holding him by his throat, he then chucks Dylan with his other hand, where he lands next to Captain America, who's fighting off Knull's army horde. Meanwhile, Thor kicks Knull off of him saying, get off. Knull then tells him, don't you see? This world is mine. You cannot stop me. Thor then looks at him saying, nay, Midgard is under my protection, as are all the realms of the world Ash. I have killed hundreds like you. All of them claim to be the one true death. The living void, the end. To that I say, I am King Thor, Odin's son, god of lightning and thunder and protector of every realm in this galaxy. I say when it ends, and I have had enough. As Thor strikes Knull so hard across the face with his hammer that his jaw explodes off of his face. But Knull, now missing his bottom jaw, still manages to say, your world will burn for that. And as Thor looks up, he says, no. As he sees two Celestials ready to attack a bunch of innocent lives. Thor then says, everyone, if you're seeing this and you could hear me, look to the skies. Everyone ready yourselves. Knull has awoken the Celestials. But as he's saying this, Knull forms his sword all black from his back while saying, everyone will burn, as he stabs Thor through the back. Knull continues to say, and you will watch. You know the pain of all black, don't you? And now you've had the honor of being killed by its creator. As we see, Knull has constructed a new bottom jaw out of his symbiotes. But besides that, Knull just apparently killed Thor. And not just any version of Thor, the most powerful version of Thor we've ever seen. This Thor literally took out Galactus, the conqueror of worlds, and the freaking Black Winter all by himself like it was no big deal. Yet Knull just killed him. Or did he? Anyway, right after this, Iron Man shows up saying, Reed, you remember that extremis infected symbiote I got a hold of? Well, ever since that kid freed it from the hive, we've been getting along a little better. That's right, Iron Man is now controlling an extremis infused symbiote dragon. And not only that, it's covering him as his new armor. Symbiote infused extremis armor. Tony then tells Reed, I'm going to use this dragon to override one of the Celestials and make it my new favorite armor. And then, well, Mr. Fantastic, did you ever play Rock'em Sock'em Robots? As we see Tony has taken over one of the Celestials, covering it in his symbiote extremis armor, knocking out the other one. It is easily one of the coolest things I've seen in comics recently. Elsewhere, Knull tells Dylan, I am the only family you have now. Come with me. Let us talk, my son. To which Dylan, of course, says, no. We also see that Thor is not dead, which is good. I was about to get a little annoyed that Knull took out Thor so easily, because Thor has been shown to be pretty much the most powerful hero in all of Marvel currently. Dude is beyond OP. I'm like McDonald's. I'm loving it. We then see an injured Thor tell two ravens to swiftly find him, as we get more narration from a mysterious character who's been narrating throughout the book saying, for every darkness there is a light, an opposite, unequal, there is another. An opposite of Knull, a god of light, the source of Dylan's power. But while Knull's dome still stands, it cannot break through. But I can, and I am on the way, as we see Silver Surfer and or Silver Surfer Black make his way to Earth as the issue ends. I keep saying it, I sound like a broken record, but this series is amazing. Everything Donny Cates has been writing is pure gold. This is an extremely fun and awesome comic, and it keeps getting better. I mean, you got Knull fighting King Odin's son Thor, a symbiote-wearing Iron Man controlling a dragon who then controls a giant celestial. All plays perfectly with excellent dialogue and pacing. What more could you ask for? I could drool over this issue and series all day long, but I'm gonna throw it to you guys. What do you guys think of King in Black and this issue? Are you loving it as much as I am? Let us know in the comment section below. First up for the week of the 27th, we have The Amazing Spider-Man issue 58. One era of Nick Spencer's run comes to a shocking end in this issue, but the seeds that he's planted along the way for the next start to bloom. Don't miss this pivotal issue. Then we have Spawn issue 314. If you've been looking to get into Spawn, this is the start of a brand new story arc called the Chain Gang, which is a team of Spawns consisting of Gunslinger Spawn, Medieval Spawn, the Reaper, and Ninja Spawn. Here we have Future State Batman Superman issue 1. Back in the early days of the magistrate occupation of Gotham City, Bruce Wayne found himself pushed to the edge like never before. So he called the Man of Steel in for backup. Makes sense, right? Wrong. Finally, we have Future State Dark Detective issue 2. Bruce Wayne is supposed to be dead, but this Dark Detective is on the run and shining a light on the mystery of his own murder. How did the killers know Bruce Wayne was Batman? And just like that, that brings another episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I will see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.